मराठीमध्ये खूप छान शब्द आहे आगाऊ.
Agav can't be translated. So, yeah.
दीड
But you tell me one thing, what is causing people to not respond responsibly? What is holding them back? Because these are rational, educated people.
I think it's a game of consciousness, actually speaking, and conscientiousness. It's a game actually of that. And what I find over there as an issue is, मेरे को मालूम है ना, I know it.
I know.
I am right.
And with confidence. But I'm right. I'm not a doctor, but I'm right.
No, I'm a doctor. Arey?
What are the emotional triggers? Coming back to the mind-body game.
So emotional triggers, definitely, and at times they are stronger in females, and they have their own set of emotional triggers. Simple things like kids have left home and the loneliness getting triggered, or let's say the husband is not appreciating enough.
Hello people, in this episode, the 4th episode, we will be talking about the mind. And who better to talk about it than someone who has trained not only his mind, but thousands of others. And just to carry forward from the exercise theme, if I have spent 100 times more time than him in exercise, he has possibly spent a few lifetimes more than me when it comes to mind control. So let's listen in and learn. Episode 4. We are going to talk about the mind. Your favorite topic.
Yes.
And my least. Because I have no control on my mind. What, according to you, is the role of the mind in this obesity and diabetes epidemic that we have got going in the country and in the world?
I mean, it's obvious for everyone to understand, and diet, exercise, following, not following, all is governed by the mind. But the interesting part which I was seriously reflecting before this podcast, and a word came very strongly, which was in a different form earlier, that, why do people become obese? Of course, there are stress issues could be there could be hormonal issues also there, but if you take general population, when you go to marriages and see the way people eat, even diabetics and obese people, the way they eat, okay, it's very appalling at times, disturbing also. And the word which came to me earlier was basically the diabetesity epidemic in this country largely is because of greed. And research corroborates, like till the time that so-called favorite food doesn't come in front of you, you can control it. You cannot eat it. You are not going to specifically order every day a samosa or an unhealthy snack or an ice cream or a rasgulla, all that. But the moment, let's say the mithai box has come into the house, somebody has brought it and it's there on the table, or you're in a buffet, or you're in a marriage, research says very clearly it's very difficult for a human being to then control not having a little piece of it. And I think it's connected to the body-mind connection very clearly. It's about pleasure and pain, It's like जिंदा है तो खा पी के रहते हैं ना यार.
It's a sign of thriving.
Thriving, and that it's an atomic explosion,
Oh yeah.
Like especially when you go through a fast, and then you have the first morsel of food. It's like zung. It's like a kick, literally. So every time we are eating the sweet, the ice creams, the pastries, the samosas, the kachoris, sometimes fumes come out of the ears. Mirchi khaya, बहुत मजा आया. Oily khaya, बहुत मजा आया. Sweet khaya, बहुत ऐसा. That
it's a
whole
very high pleasure zone.
And it's a
body wide.
It's like a sensation generating inside the body, literally. And that craving for that pleasure sensation is what is creating the greed, or in refined language, indulgence. Indulgence. So I think, and yeah, at a certain level, because let's say historically we've been deprived for a certain time, and there are theories that during British times there were enough famines created also, and I think more people died in this country than the Holocaust. Okay. And there has been a period of less eating, deprivation, and since 1990s there's a
certain affluence,
affluence coming in, and then I have the right to eat.
Finally, I can eat.
I can eat.
Entitlement.
Entitlement, and I think it's crazy. Actually, one statement which hit me very hard a while back is, the body is basically a reflection or a crystallized form of your unconscious mind.
You'll have to say that again. It's not gone into my unconscious mind.
The body, like Malhar's body, is the crystallized form of his unconscious mind. So your shape, for example, I just say the shape is because of the 100 times more hours of
the mind is chosen to focus on that.
You have done because your mind is crazy. You get up at 5 o'clock and you go out, and your family is wondering, what are you doing, man?
Just sleep.
But your mind is programmed for that, and that's so crucial that I remember a book which is very powerful again, Tales of Power, Carlos Castaneda. If you haven't read it, you must read it. And I think that book snapped me out of indulgence, which was there in small pockets in some way. And it said that indulgence reduces your ability to see things as they are, your tonal. So people will indulge in gambling. Let's say if you go to extreme, people can indulge in gambling or smoking or drinking or any other vices that might be there, and the person knows it at a certain level that I am indulging in all of this, but the person cannot control it. Okay, and that same theory of indulgence and pleasure principle at a certain level is at the heart of the diabetesity epidemic also.
But you tell me one thing, what is causing people to not respond responsibly? You earlier talked about the 3-4 I's which are in the system. What is holding them back? Because these are rational, educated people.
Again, if you look at, I think it's a game of consciousness, actually speaking, and conscientiousness. Okay, those who are more conscious, and there are communities which are more conscious and conscientious. Okay, there are localities within cities also which are more conscious and more conscientious. There are families and all of that. It's a game actually of that. Like for example, if you take a business owner community, look, I am remembering somebody from Kolkata, for example, okay, very affluent, all right, or even for that matter from Rajasthan. We get a lot of business owners joining the programs. Now, वो 5 बजे पकौड़ी खानी ही है, या वो पान मसाला खाना ही है.
Yeah, like a Pavlovian thing also. I go there, it's there, it's a ritual.
The unconscious is full of habits.
Yeah,
it's not under your volition. You cannot control it.
No, but that's again we're outsourcing it to the subconscious.
Yeah.
Finally, you are a master of your destiny, at least when making certain choices.
Correct.
You're not buying property or you're.
That's where the other thing comes in here. I find personally, like especially when I go out and I observe, marriages and restaurants and our own people also, participants and otherwise. Look, we are the center of our world.
Yeah.
Whatever said and done, because the body is here and the mind is here.
And my issue is the prime issue. Whatever.
And I'm visualizing, I'm feeling the entire world from my vantage point. Okay.
Yeah.
So one more thing which very starkly comes out, okay, and it comes out it must be coming out in your relatives also. It comes in my relatives also. It is said that people will listen to you from all across the universe, but the relatives may not. Okay, वो घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर वाला thing. And what I find over there as an issue is, मेरे को मालूम है ना. I know it.
I know. What you'll teach me?
That right, I am right, which happens in all conflicts also, all issues also, all everywhere you
And
go.
with confidence.
With confidence.
I might be wrong, but I'm right. I'm not a doctor, but I'm right.
No, I am a doctor. अरे घर घर में डॉक्टर है, पता है क्या? मतलब
Yeah, I know
literally
more.
at a
yeah.
certain level, if you go, it's funny. It's funny. I think मराठीमध्ये खूप छान शब्द आहे. आगाऊ.
Agau can't be translated. So, yeah.
दीड शाणा त्याचा बैल रिकामा. That's a thing, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, Hindi, I don't know how to convert it. But look, the होशियारी जो दिखाते हैं ना at times.
Overconfidence.
ego जो आ जाता है.
Arrogance of.
Arrogance, ego, कि मेरे को पता है ना, मेरे को.
But that's a fundamental response. See, people will respond two ways to adversity. There are people who are so overconfident. They're like, oh, I know what I'm doing and I've look at my life, it's full of abundance, so I can't be wrong. And the other one is to play the victim card, which is, oh, it's not my fault. I'm an addict. I'm not in control. This is, I have a personality like that. I give in to indulgence. So you can't have it both ways. You're high performing at work, and then the minute I put you into a dietary or a nutritional ecosystem, you become a victim mindset. Oh, I can't control this. I've seen people with 1,000 crore fortunes when I meet them, huge bungalows. They sit here, they don't even pick up the snacks on their own. They call the Chotu snacks la. Chotu will come keep the snacks there. They won't even pick up the kaju from the table.
I've seen in Delhi one very big business owner, उसका शूज और सॉक्स भी लाके जहाँ बैठा है वहाँ पे वो राजू रहता है.
I mean,
so
it's that level of indulgence or entitlement which has come in. No, but tell me one thing. We can keep discussing the psychosocial parts of abundance. These are all affluenza, right? This is all side effects of money, disposable income. But what are the emotional triggers? Coming back to the mind-body game, what in the mind is, what are people going through their years?
So that's another very relevant side of obesity and diabetes, and I think everyone experiences it, that when they are stressed, when they are more angry, when they are more upset or grieving or whatever it is, I think medically we know
there's a whole
cortisol and other hormones are going to get secreted, and then the stress eating will also happen, and
there's a cascade
will
of
also
the
happen,
flow chart.
many things will happen.
The whole thing. Yeah.
So emotional triggers, definitely, and at times, maybe, let's not be gender biased, but just by the nature in which males and females are made up, at times they are stronger in females, and there are enough number of well-off, at times educated, sometimes lesser educated females, and they have their own set of emotional triggers. Like I do remember, I mean, it's like a demigod that is there, kind of a person worshipped by many people and all that. Sometimes I've even seen from the spiritual community also, and at times royalty or very, very affluent communities also. And simple things like, okay, kids have left home. My son has
college, marriage, whatever,
has left home, and the loneliness getting triggered. Or let's say the husband is not appreciating enough. Or family in general is not respectful enough at times. Or it could be, I only don't appreciate myself.
Self-love is missing.
Okay. So I think the mental game, again, each one is different. Okay. It's one of the most complex puzzle to solve. But I also see that people tend to do things in a day or a week, like the way you choose to do certain things in a day and a week is directly proportional, and this is going to be very important for people to notice. It's directly proportional to your unconscious hierarchy of values that are there inside your mind. And by values, I'm not using some heavy duty word, I'm using basic emotions which make you feel nice and which you want to experience repeatedly. Like for example, for you, that endorphin, or that's a basically energy that you
It
experience
could
in
be
the body.
reading also. It could be anything which stimulates you.
Correct.
Is inherently puts you in a positive state.
Correct.
Yeah.
So whatever makes you feel positive, whatever makes me feel positive, whatever makes anybody feel positive energy, positive emotions, all of that, okay, becomes a value. I value those emotions, and I want to experience them repeatedly. And because I want to experience them repeatedly, I keep doing things around it repeatedly. And that can get into a kitty party, that can get into a busy professional, that can be a successful person. Wherever, like as you were saying, there are enough people who are, let's say, in investment banking, for example, right now, okay, and they are playing with fear and greed all the time over there outside, but they're also playing with fear and greed inside continuously, and that person is so successful work-wise, okay, because they are enjoying the emotions of money. Suppose money is also energy, crazy. It's a crazy.
Yeah, they've trained themselves to seek the joy within that ecosystem.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I value, let's say, money coming into my city, and we all need money. Okay. That's there. But when that value starts superseding, okay, something else like, okay, I also love having a thin waist. Now, the one who wants to have a thin waist, come what may, the person will be there. He doesn't need to follow you or me or any program in the world. He knows when to say no.
You should just shift the microscope to that, the magnifying glass there, and that same laser focus will come into that place. But
and this is a very tricky country to be in. There are enough people who come from abroad, okay, who are much more disciplined and okay over there. Indians, non-Indians, whatever, they come over here and so many festivals. And so many occasions to eat, and every meeting is food, and they're not saying no to it because they're getting into indulgence. They're getting
we just can't say no. We feel it'll be rude to the host. It's a cultural thing again.
Cultural, that's a big problem. Not able to say no to in-laws, to friends, to in parties.
I know people who can't say no to the stewardess in a flight. He's brought food and kept in front of you. Why can't you just say no, I don't want to eat?
So many times in
people
the flight.
They'll go waste. The cultural thing, they'll throw it.
No, but, and that is also there. उल्टा अभी खाना खाने गए हैं ना, वसूल करने का सारा पैसा.
Oh my God, that
buffet में ना वो सारे
you can't see the plate. They have to load till you can't see the plate. I have seen people, but yeah, I'll be honest with you. Coming back to see the judgment for is one part of it. We are activated souls in that sense, but there are people who relapse and addiction are very genuine parts of this field. Okay, so there are personalities who have a 40-50% higher chance of getting addicted to anything.
Correct.
Be it food, be it exercise, be it drug or anything. They just have a tendency.
Correct.
I think it starts with getting out of denial. That, I'm not one of those. Whether it's work and you're doing 16 hours a day to your own, so it's becoming narcissistic, but you will still justify it. I think that denial that, I am not in control. I have lost control.
Yeah, and I'm not that bad also.
Yeah, it doesn't make me bad.
I'm just a pre-diabetic,
That the defenses are fantastic. That we hear every day. It was day before yesterday. I ate one piece of food and then the A1C jumped.
Yeah, because Diwali came. That's why my sugars are bad. Mango season happened. Yeah, that's why sugars.
I went traveling. One vacation does not a diabetic make. That's why I always tell people when they tell me we just went for one holiday. It was 8 days. I ate a lot. It was 5-7 years in the coming. But coming back to now, tell me one thing.
नहीं उसके ऊपर सीखते नहीं है यार. मेरे को बहुत मतलब दुख होता है. It really bothers me.
I think people have to get out of their arrogance first.
Yeah, I think we've.
I hate being rude and calling spade a spade. But many times in our sessions, I tell people to get off their high horses and accept that there are certain things you don't know. And there's some people have just done a little more research in that field. Like you go to an investment banker, you just ask him, where should I invest my money? He will just dole it out in 30 seconds. This is the way you should spread your portfolio. And you listen to the guy and you carry on with your life. Similarly here, you should just outsource decision making and just carry on with your life. But I think when you just don't want to accept only that.
I think it's definitely a country where, I don't know, we have experienced many other cultures, but let's say even between South India and North India also we see a difference on that. when it comes to, humility, respect for knowledge, accepting that I'm ignorant, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know, in different localities, different communities, there are enough examples. We don't have to get
Different
into
response to
blame and shame over here.
Again, it's a value thing, no? How much value do you place on learning?
Yes. Yes.
It's again
very
your
important.
unconscious hierarchy. How much value do you place on learning something new this year? Like for me, last 9 years, I have done one qualification every Jan. I sign up every Jan for a new course. It costs few lakhs, but that keeps me in that loop because that drives new insights. It drives the same problem you start looking at from a very different perspective. Now it's diet and exercise. There are 50 diet approaches out there. Why not just learn them? You don't have to do all of them, but I think for an educated person to be out of a loop of learning is criminal. I think you're denying yourself again the joy coming back. But now tell me one thing. See, again, I'm not big on I have not subscribed to any philosophy when it comes to mind control. The marketplace is really big in India, globally.
It's huge.
For,
India,
how to control one's mind, how to control one's emotion. This is, it's time immemorial now. From religion to spiritual practices to meditation, the buzzwords are all there. You have got to break it down for a non-meditator like me to make it look attractive enough. And again, I'm a high-performing, motivated guy at work, family responsibilities. There is no excuse to not do this. Yet, why do 90% of people only come there when stuff goes wrong? How do you convince people that, where's the obesity in the mind? Can't measure it. No, there's no BMI. So how do you measure? How would you convince me or break it down to just start the basics of mind mapping? Let's put it that way.
I think.
Are there any symptoms we should look out for?
Yeah, you can look out for symptoms. You can attempt questionnaires, and you can take consults. Look, the main thing is if things are not working out. Like there's also a big problem over here of it's a taboo to
visit
go
mental
to
health
a
professionals.
mental health professional or seek help. Again, that ego and all of that things come over here. So whatever works, but if I'm not getting the results, look, if I'm not able to adhere to a diet regime, I'm relapsing again and again. I'm not able to get motivated enough to follow a nice exercise routine. Okay. And I'm relapsing again and again, then boy,
there's a behavioral issue there.
I have an issue. I have an issue. I think it starts with that. Now, once that happens, then the way forward could be different for different people. There could be there couldn't be like, okay, all right, do a 15-minute mindfulness practice and you'll be sorted for life.
It's not that simple.
I wish it was like that, the way it was for.
Will that rid the mind of skepticism, of denial? The primary two emotions blocking people from taking control of their health is primarily skepticism. It's not that bad, and no approach works. So there is a skeptical way of looking at any suggestion given to them, and then of course there's denial. It doesn't exist. It's a scam. High cholesterol is a scam. You can't argue. Then there's WhatsApp, just university flooding with, written articles written to convince people anti-pharma and blah blah. So how do you get down to a human being just saying today, I need to get control of. I need to not overreact to day. The maidservant didn't come today. How do you not overreact?
Oh my God! And you can see that generationally shifting. Like the
it's
way
getting shorter. The fuse is getting shorter.
Adversity management. If you look at that as a quality inside human beings in India or maybe other countries also, the way, let's say, my grandmother or my mother in the 70s and maybe 90s could handle.
World class adversities, not our kind. Wi-Fi kam ho gaya, oregano kam ho gaya. It's not that level. It is serious.
Ola ka driver
12 minute dikha raha hai.
Or cab cancel kar diya.
Cab cancel kar diya. I got rejected. But we are talking.
This friend of mine didn't like.
We are talking world class level adversities where you lost a person. Stuff like that.
Very clear. The younger generation, even between 40s, 50s, right now, they need to go through a lot of understanding on the amygdala, the flight, fright, freeze, midbrain. It's just growing, literally, for want of a better word, it's just literally destroying our life despite having enough so-called abundance, because we're just not training it to move from here, which
To
is the
action,
center,
yeah.
to this part,
Yeah.
the forebrain. So if you're looking at some takeaways as or some directions over there, is yes, mindfulness is very, very important. There's a basic necessity. It's like at times, it's said meditation is the new medication, and there's no exaggeration over there. थोड़ा तो लगेगा 15 मिनट 20 मिनट जो भी होता
So
है.
where do you start? Do you start journaling? What do you want me to
Journaling
start?
I find very useful. I again find personality types.
Give me a skill that I already know, which I can just put into practice.
Look, get up in the morning without brushing the teeth. First thing, have a nice book, nice new pen, and write down all the stupid, shitty, crazy, off track, whatever, or positive, good things, gratitude, whatever's coming in your brain. I've done it twice for 2 months. There's an amazing book called The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron, and it really unblocks, man. Really, it unblocks, like amazing, because you can actually track that particular potent time of the day when you are between the conscious and the unconscious.
Yeah, before the stimulus has started
Before
from
you
the day, yeah.
the whole
Before the reactive life starts.
Yeah, you are in that soft horizon kind of a zone where
You're fertile still. You're
fertile
ready
still,
to,
those fears, those anxieties, those worries, those tensions of the day,
Yeah.
all are still there, ripe in your brain that time, in your energy system. Get up in the mornings, just start writing, and make it a habit. Just complete the page. You can actually write, I can't think of writing anything. What is the stupid thing I'm doing? Oh, but I have to finish this work today. Many times daily planning also happens, and I've seen my productivity increase minimum 3 times if I just start writing first thing in the morning, even before brushing the teeth. Because the moment you brush and move around, then those thoughts go away. So, abhi for us newer generation, तो उनको बहुत बुरा भी लगता है, दया भी आता है यार. सुबह कब देखेंगे ये लोग, मतलब it's very difficult
the
for
morning starts at 11, so
it's very, very challenging. So whatever time it starts, but early mornings, Brahma Muhurta is time tested. There's no two ways about it. The hormonal readiness and the energetic
vibes, the whole
energy,
vibe is there. Yeah, the sun has risen.
The birds are chirping. There's an electromagnetic field, and being in this country, I would love to share a little bit over here, which is curious. I don't know if I ever told you. The word Bharat, is of 2 words, Bha and Rat.
Okay.
Bha comes from many root words like Abha, Vibha, light, a lot of light flowing, and Rat has roots in like Rath, Ritu, cycles.
Okay.
So I love to share this. Dr. Gunde shared with me long time back from Kolhapur, orthopedic surgeon, amazing teacher he was. And he said, Bharat is a land from where light shines in cycles again and again and again and again. And of course, that is true in many, many contexts, but at times it's also something that, we just take pride in and say, okay, we the great land, we the great culture, we the great all of that. Fair enough, theek hai, अच्छी बात है, but morning times actually I do feel at times, energy sensitivity is something that many of us can build, and we haven't tuned our energy antennas more. Morning times you can get a lot more energies flowing right from Himalayas.
Moral of the story,
or when people are
start getting
quieter.
up earlier.
Start getting up early.
And
Start
being
sleeping.
alone.
Start sleeping a little early by 10 o'clock, max 11.
I'll tell you my summary from what you're saying is, there is meditation in everything.
Yes.
Whether you're eating, whether you're exercising, whether you're getting up early in the morning, whether you're journaling, whatever you're doing, I think you need to just start becoming aware, right?
Absolutely, and you need to start working on your indulgences.
Yes.
If they are
That will automatically create a cycle
because obesity, diabetes is very clear. You're eating more, simple.
It's coming from here.
It's a craving. So work on your indulgences, work on your ignorances, work on your ego. If you think you know everything, then you would have sorted it by now.
Yeah.
If you're not sorted it, just accept कि नहीं है यार कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
One
you take some
ICU admission brings all the egos down to earth, and then
नहीं थोड़े एक महीने का तो वापस आ जाते
I
हो.
know, they come back to
नहीं
it.
आ जाता है. And also work on your inertia, because we've got a way of doing things. The mind and the body have a certain speed
Yes.
of doing things, and you get located in that, and you can shake that, wake that, and move that, and basically don't treat the body and the mind as two different things.
Yeah.
They are literally two sides of the same coin. The body is the crystallized form of the mind, and we need to work on them. Some of them, like
Absolutely.
you, I think, feel better by taking the route of the body and
Yeah,
entering the
yeah,
mind.
correct.
Some people like to enter through the mind into the body, whatever works for you. But
Yeah.
this
Chicken
is
or egg at the end of the
this
day.
is the this is the most
Yeah.
killer thing and most important thing if you have to do anything.
Yeah, I
in
think
this country.
it starts with a decision. And that's what I tell people. It's one decision away from a different life. So let's hope most people make it.
Yeah.
And yes,
You do.
I hope you found that interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, please do get out of denial, out of inertia, out of ignorance, and as many of the meditation practices will tell you, into the realm of insight. Yes.